put your hands together for Jim O'Grady.
So it all begins when my roommate Janet brings home a monkey. And not just any monkey, a clever monkey. The kind of monkey, you know, if you see this monkey, a little monkey on the sidewalk, and it's in a red vest with a hat and it's singing, and before you know it, you're just giving it all your money. It's that kind of monkey. The kind of monkey who would make you forget, if you're not careful, that she's also an animal. Uh-oh. 2 years before, in college, Janet and I had had a horizontal makeout. Now, obviously you know what that is. That's when you pass out after a party and you wake up and then there's a girl passed out near you and then she wakes up and your faces are so close together that out of sheer convenience, you make out. And Janet had hoped for follow-up, but instead I blew her off to pursue this other woman who had an 80s haircut like in the shape of an airplane wing. And she and I went out, we dated for a year. And one night she and I were in a bar and she put her arms over my shoulders and she looked at me and she said, "Jim, I'll always love you, but I've joined the Peace Corps. Soon I'll be going to a remote part of Africa with very sporadic mail service. Goodbye." Janet, on the other hand, is the opposite of haircut girl. Janet has ponytails, and Janet does good in this country, on this continent. That's where the monkey comes in. Her name is Boo, and she wears a diaper. And as Janet is constructing her large cage in our living room, she tells me that Boo and little monkeys like her, they're just like human babies in a lot of ways, especially how they will just shit with gusto and then go on to the next thing. And Janet says, you know, kind of like how a guy in college will do a thing one night and then just move on. Oh, shit. So Janet is actually working for a research lab, training monkeys, actually training Boo to help quadriplegics, or quads, as they call themselves. The idea is that a quad will take a laser pointer in his mouth and point to the refrigerator door. The helper monkey will go over, open the door. The quad will point to a Tupperware with a sandwich in it. The monkey will grab it, come back, and feed it to him. So Janet demonstrates this to me by making me play the quad and putting the laser pointer in my mouth, and sure enough, I point at the fridge, and Boo goes over, opens it up, gets the sandwich, and brings it back to me and gives it to me. Sometimes. Other times, she takes the sandwich, comes over, starts to give it to me, pulls it away, throws it on the ground, looks at me and then goes, "Ah!" And I learned that in monkey language, "Ah!" means psych.
Yes.
So there was more training that needed to happen with Boo. But Janet is so patient with Boo. Janet is so lovely. Why didn't I see this before? Like at night, she would have Boo sometimes on her lap and stroking her little thin hair on her head, or she would feed Boo baby food with a spoon. And I would look at this, and it would just be so tender and maternal and intimate that it raised a question for me. And the question was, can I be the daddy? Because I could see the only way to reverse my fall from grace was to change my status from Janet's roommate to a full-fledged member of her primate set. But Boo had other ideas. So, like, some nights, Janet and I would sit on the couch and we'd be watching television, and I would do the thing where you move over a a little bit. I would start to get close to Janet, and Boo would see this and come jumping over and wedge herself in between us. And many times she would spoon Janet, which meant sticking her diapered ass at me. And she would look over her shoulder at me seductively and go, "Ah!" Which raised another question. Am I being cock-blocked by a monkey? And then, plot twist, movie director George Romero calls. He has read about Boo and Boo's work with quadriplegics, and he's written the script for a horror film based on it called Monkey Shines. And the plot of the script is male quad gets female helper monkey. They bond. Then male quad gets female girlfriend, which causes female helper monkey to do what you do in a George Romero film when you need to solve a problem. Go on a killing spree. So George Romero wants Boo to play the monkey on the killing spree and Janet to wrangle her on set. And it happens. And it turns out that acting out killing sprees all day is quite tiring because Boo and Janet would come home and they'd be exhausted. So it's around this time that I start making dinner every night for us. And then one night Janet says to me, you know, you don't have to do that. And I said, yeah, I know. And then Janet kissed me on the forehead. So the movie wraps, and the three of us decide to celebrate by taking a hike in the Catskill Mountains, and we're out in the woods, and Boo is scampering down the trail, and we look like any normal family. Except our child is now swinging from tree limb to tree limb, shitting freely. And after a while we stop for a picnic and we sit down and Janet is taking out the food and I put Boo into a pamper and Janet looks over and sees the two of us and she smiles and then she plucks a grape and she reaches over and puts it in my mouth. And I cannot describe how fast the next thing happens. Boo takes her hairy little arm, shoves it in my mouth and down my throat. Her elbow is at my teeth. Her fingers are wriggling in my esophagus, trying to get the grape, but she keeps pushing it down, and I'm choking. And Janet jumps up, pulls Boo off, Heimlichs me, the grape comes flying out. And then Boo runs away. And we'll chase her, we'll find her, and all will be well. But for that moment, Janet just keeps her arms around me. She says into my ear, "Are you all right?" And I say, "Yeah, I'm all right." And then we hear Boo in the distance howling. And Janet says, "We've got to find her." And as Jen and I are making our way through the woods, it hits me. She doesn't say, "I've got to find her." She says, "We." Thank you.